All right, we will consider this part one for now. Like I said, we're going to go through everything here in front of us. It's kind of a mixed grab. I don't really have any particular order I want to do this. Maybe we'll just start off with an easy one. Not sure where I got any of these. If it does come to me when we go through them, I'll try to let y'all know. I want to say this is just a basic Walmart or Target grab. I see these things all the time. And I pass on them here and there, but sometimes I just elect to get them because it's Volkswagen. And, any of the golf or the rabbits or, stuff like that, I have a little fond relationship with. So this is pretty cool. I think these are 24. Um, it says 23, but I want to say it's 24. 90 Volkswagen Golf Country. It's a four-door rally, if you will. Kind of a desert Baja Buster. The series on these things isn't really that great. I'll show it to you on the back here in just a second. But let's see. I don't believe I've seen. You know what? This one I believe I have in my four-wheel drive collection, but I have not seen any other ones on here except the Jeep and the Scout. I have not seen that on its pegs anywhere, or the Ridge Raider, which I'm assuming is a non-licensed casting. Anyway, off-road rally series. I'm assuming it's 24. This is car 3 out of 6. Probably won't be nothing special, but we'll get a good look at on the turntable here in just a minute. Check it out. Stand by. Okay, so now I understand why these things come with a silicone mat, because the car, it's not real heavy and doesn't have a lot of weight and or rubber tires, likes to roll back and forth. Hopefully it won't roll off during the video. Nice orange paint, really cool livery on this thing. Not crazy about the wheels, but a pretty decent mainline. Matchbox does a pretty good job at doing these, and this is no exception. Could have had a little more detail on the front, but overall it's pretty good. See the rear wiper on there. Oh, see, told you. May just have to do this one old school style. But not bad. Like I said, none of this is going to be super special. There's a handful of them in here, guys, that you guys are wanting to see really bad. But there's a handful of them that are just, they're kind of peg warmers essentially. But I wanted them for my VW Loose collection. And, these things should be just about anywhere, so anybody can get their hands on them. That's also the fun part of this, is it's not like we're trying to obtain a super rare piece, and, somebody who likes these kind of things can get their hands on them and enjoy them. So that's it for this one. I'm going to set it down on the desk, and we'll grab something else and we'll go on the next one. Okay, let's do the Neon Speeders. This is in this set. It's got the little yellow Honda Turbo, or the 70 Custom Civic, the Beetle. I'll open this car on a later video. I did not have this one. They got traded the other day. This is a peg warmer. It's literally everywhere. The Mini Cooper. I traded this car as well. So the only ones I kept out of this set was the Porsche GT2, the S13, and this car. And these are from, I want to say these are 24. Yeah, right here. So anyway, they call this the custom Volkswagen Beetle. These castings like this, man, this is where the VW Beetle really shines, because it has such a 360-degree platform of what you want to do with your bug, and this is no exception. So for those of you who are big Volkswagen fans, I'm sure you'll appreciate this. And it's just like anything else. It's basically just it's a blank canvas, if you will. What I loved about them growing up, the style that was real popular, that really got me into them, was, the stinger pipe in the back and mud grips or paddles, with some all-terrain tires in the front, and the shark fin, scoop for the intake, and just the push bumpers on the front, and it was kind of like the middle ground of a Baja bug, a desert bug, style. But that's what really got me into these things as a kid, and it just kind of evolved from there. So anyway, let's get a good look at this thing on the stand. Hopefully it'll stay still for us, unlike the last one, and we'll get a good look at it. All right, a nice green metallic paint is a real nice touch. I love the pink on here. The little angry carrot rabbit. Ibach Springs is one of the little sponsors on the side. Nigo Tires, Hot Wheels. Pink interior. This is a really, really cool car you can get for $3. These are neon speeders are basically right there in line with the Silver Series cars, if you will. I had a bunch of these, but I basically elected to, like I said, get rid of the ones I didn't really care for and keep the ones I did want to keep. And I really like the colors on this car with the pink interior and the pink and green. It's real fitting. So there you have it. Nice little example of a neon speeder, a little different than the rest of them. They all have their own little flair, but really nice. This will be a great way to add to the collection. Okay, this one here I got from a trade from a guy that I do a lot of trading with. He's on the other side of town, meaning like West Houston. I'm not sure what year this one is. 2020, so it's either 2020 or 2021. He had them shown to me last minute. We were doing some last minute trading. I told him, yeah, absolutely, I'll take that one. It was this one and this bus here. So didn't look too detailed. I was kind of disappointed at being a nicer Matchbox. It didn't have any details on the front of the rear, but any of the Type 2 stuff is cool. So this is a Transport Crew Cab, what they call it. Matchbox. It's 2 out of the 24. I'm not sure what series this is. Oh, I guess Volkswagen Transporter. Maybe. I don't know. No? Anyway, let's check it out. This will also make a really nice custom later on, because it does have a lot of things that I do like, but it definitely needs a little bit of attention, in the details on the tail lights and headlights and what have you. Yep. All right. Let's check it out on 360. Quick undercarriage shot. I keep forgetting to do that. Big old long leaf springs in the front. It's on there. It's not great, but Matchbox did an okay job doing the details on it. So look at the rest of it. All right. Orange is a nice color on here. The side detailing it's all right. It's not bad. I did notice this thing has kind of a light coat of paint on it, so you see a little bit of the shadowing from the actual casting, mainly like on the bedside here. Other than that, no complaints. I like the little hitch on the back, like some of the Nissan hard bodies have, and I think the Pathfinder from Matchbox has that too. Not too great, but not bad for a mainline. Like I said, it's the 2020 or 2021 release, and they call this what do they call it? The Transporter Crew Cab. So white wheels are nice change of pace. Not my favorite, but let's check out the rest. Okay, this one I believe I bought from a guy I bought plenty from on a Facebook auction or a buy it now post he did. It's a Golf in Mark II. This is a 17, maybe an 18. Then and now sub series car 5 out of 10. Collector number is, man, they used to make a lot of them back then. 365 for the year. This is car 171 for the collector number. What really caught my attention on this one was not only the color, but the gold outline wheels, and it had those nicer motel wheels. I can't remember what they call them. They have a certain name, but I haven't gotten that involved in learning all the different types of names of the wheels and all the main lines. It just kind of escapes me to keep up with that kind of information. I'd rather know about a real vehicle, to be completely honest. So, all right, let's do a disco turntable. Get a better look at it. Let's do a carriage shot, flat bottom, tailpipe, muffler. That's all we get, nothing more. All right, nice yellow, decent paint coverage. I like the stripe on the sides and the hood and the roof. The gold outline's a really good fit. Great wheel choice for this car. But again, no tampos on the front, no tampos on the rear. Um, but overall, pretty nice. Not much more to say. I do love the Golf. I mean, the Rabbit. Prior to this, anything Volkswagen, but the hatchbacks are just really cool to me. 4-door, 2-door. So there you have it. We'll pull this one down, put it out on the floor, and go to the next one. All right, so I did do something a little different. Um, I'll talk about some fun facts, if you will, about the Volkswagen Caddy. That's the model I picked tonight to really kind of talk more about and elaborate. Since not a lot of people really know about it, including myself, I know just very little about its model variations and you know some information about the actual model, and we'll go over that when it gets on the turntable. But this one is a recent purchase from a guy named Juan that I buy from all the time. This was back in 11 to like 14 or 15 when they had some real basic card art. But this is a 2013 Hot Wheels Off Road. It's a sub series. This is 124 out of 250 for that year, and it's just a Volkswagen Caddy. Doesn't say what year it is, but we'll get it out. Actually, I think this one and the one below it over here actually came in the mail today. So thank you again for that one. I made probably 5 or 6 purchases from him in the past. Always real good to deal with him. Fair pricing, good packaging. He's same state as I am, so I get packages pretty quick. Really cool little trucks. So obviously a mainline, rolls pretty good. Pretty flat on the bottom for the casting back from this era. But I wanted to show you all a few things about this casting and kind of give you some other insight about the Volkswagen Caddy. So hang tight. Okay, so what I did like about this casting, and I really couldn't tell with the exception of just barely being able to see the man. What are we doing here? All right, we'll stop the carousel and pretend that wasn't something that happened tonight during filming. Okay, so after that horrible, misleading accident that happened just a minute ago, I did notice that this thing had really nice detailing, and I did not see that until I got it tonight because I don't have this casting that I can recall. I have this one that's unopened over here, from the Surf's Up series, and the other maroon I was telling you about. But this was a nice treat, nice surprise. It had tampos on the rear, tampos on the front. They have like this outline in the paint. I'm not sure is intentional or not. The rag top on here is a really cool feature. And I'm really at the front of this thing. A little bit of the base color, leaching through the grill. Got the little intercooler poking out the front. Just a really neat casting. I'm not sure if the other two are like this, but I was really happy to get this one. It's a nicer mainline. And these castings, from any manufacturer by Hot Wheels in this era, 2009 or 10 to about 15, they're kind of hit or miss. Some of them are really good, but this one's actually pretty nice mainline. But if one fun fact I wanted to share with y'all as we go through these caddies, this was initially based on the Rabbit platform when it was initially created, and then it evolved into the Golf platform. And believe it or not, the Volkswagen Caddy, it looks nothing like this today, but it is still currently produced. So again, there you have it. I'm going to have to get a black silicone mat for this thing. It came with a blue one, but it just looked horrible under the camera light. So we're just going to have some growing pains we're dealing with this carousel. So, all right, let's get this one out of the sky and bring up the next model. Okay, we're going to do a little throwback. A buddy of mine gave me this car. I got probably 30 or 40 different cars from him from this 98 to 2000 era. What I love about these cars is just about all of them are double die cast. They weren't really the greatest in detail, depending on which one you got, but the quality of the die cast casting itself and it being double die cast, with a metal base, is a really nice feature. And this is, just shortly after I would have quit collecting Hot Wheels as a kid. I collected them in the, probably 10 to 12 years old, but I remember just hanging on the shelves. Younger kids that I used to hang out with, they were buying them. And I've acquired some other cars, just from this time period. This, like I said, 98 to 2000 or 01. Just a really nice, series from those years. Tropical series, car number 2 out of 4, the Baja Bug. I have the older version of this casting. I'm not sure if it was early 90s or mid 90s, or it may have been as late as this one. But I do have a custom being worked on by a Facebook pal of mine who's done a couple of customs for me. I will definitely show that one off whenever it gets back to me, because it has custom 3D printed VW style wheels, and a bunch of other cool features. Collector number 694. Yeah, I think these are 98s because it says, or it used to say on here. Anyway, nonetheless, it's got kind of the reggae vibe on here. Oh man, this thing, the paint finish is starting to get a little tacky on it because it was out in the sun. But so they just roll really nice and really good quality. So it's a good thing this one actually probably come out of the blister, because it would have been hurt or damaged, for all we know, a couple more years, even being inside. So get an undercarriage shot of this thing. So even the finish is kind of affected on this one. But we'll check it out while it's spinning. Ring around the rosy. I totally thought I hit pause on that, guys. Sorry. Good thing I was quiet and wasn't talking mess. Okay. So continuing on, I have this one and the other color variant. I think these are from 2020, no, 2021. Moon Eyes Cool Combi. I really wished they would put detailing on the front of these things, because as we looked at that premium 80th anniversary Mattel last night, this thing looks so sweet whenever you do it upright with paint on the headlights, for tampos and the front grille emblem. But Moon Eyes is real popular. There's a lot of people that are very aware of what that is. They've had livery on vehicles since Moses wore short pants, right? And I was really glad to get these as a pair. I got these from a guy that I buy from, who's up in Illinois. He runs a lot of Facebook auctions and buy it now posts. And if my memory serves me right, I believe I paid maybe $3 a piece for these things. They were kind of sleeping and snoozing in the auction, and I think I just was able to get them, just by chance, because these things probably should have brought $5 or $6 each. But let's get this thing up here and let it go on the merry-go-round and see what it's all about. Undercarriage is super plain. That's fine. There ain't a whole room to do anything down there. All right, so on this one they had, it's kind of hard to tell on here, but it's got a pretty big, I don't know if y'all can see that, but that the front of that thing's got a pretty big boo-boo. See that? Right there above the passenger window. Again, the bumper's kind of out of skew. A little disappointing because this is supposed to be a really nice casting, and a collectible one at that. But that's all right. I mean, you got some other stuff going right there above that rear window. A lot of paint errors on this thing, in my opinion. Kind of surprising for Hot Wheels and the Cool Combi, as popular as it is, and with a moon livery on there. It's all right. Maybe the yellow one's a little bit better. Maybe it's the same. Who knows? Um, Tan interior. Wish they would put some color on the surfboards to kind of give it some contrast. At least paint the fins on them or something. But anyway, a couple boo boos just to know, to make notation that they won't always be perfect. You get these things out of the package, and especially when you look at them under an HD camera, you start picking things apart. But that's okay. The right guy who has stuff like this, like me, eventually will turn stuff like this into customs, and it won't matter. It'll get a wheel swap, it'll get all the paint fixed on it, and it'll be a totally different machine. So we will probably go to this anniversary bug. Okay, I'm trying to recall where I got this one from. I want to say this is a purchase on Facebook via auction, or it may have been a trade. I see a bunch of these things in the stores, and I have a few like this that I bought from the store. And I know I did not find this one on the pegs. It was bought somewhere, or it was traded. Basically came in the mail. Volkswagen Baja Bug. This is the 57th anniversary, which is, I believe, this year. Shiny. So pretty. That gold and purple just really sets it off, right? Other cars in this set are... I do have the Vet, and I do have this truck. I don't do the fantasy castings. I'm pretty much a licensed guy only. The Vet is really nice. I have it, like I said. In the Jeep, I have... Oh, you know what? I think I actually put that in the trade pile. So I will not have that one. I was trying to kind of thin down all my main lines, if you will. I just selected to keep the VW, obviously, because it's a bug. But let's get it up on the blue mat and see what it's got. I know I have a lot of the Matchbox Baja Bugs, or the 404 Beetle, which is a casting I do like. What I do love about this one, and I believe this is the only casting like this I have, is the stance on this thing is textbook. If you're going to build a buggy, Beetle, like you would have set up like this is how you'd want it. You'd want it more travel in the front, squatting in the rear for a good dig. And it just, this thing is cool. It's a little toonish, because this casting has that really weird bulge from where the axles are. It's got the oversized tires, but this thing is really sweet. At least all the paint is really detailed. The livery on it for the anniversary is spot on. I don't see any flaws in here. The stinger pipe is a nice touch for me. I love that about the Baja style, off-road desert bug. So real treat for me. It's got the surround crash bar on the back, and big light bar on the front with a surround bumper, protect everything. Very nice. This one was definitely not a disappointment. Actually, a lot nicer than I expected. For a mainline, essentially. I think these are like $2 versus $1.25, wherever you see them. But very nice. Very happy to have this one. Okay, I think we'll start with. I opened a bunch of these cars on another video I did. I had most of this set, but it was all on cards. And a friend of mine from Rio Grande City, he sent me the remainder of the set that I did or didn't have. I think one or two of these I'm giving to another friend of mine because he doesn't have them and he wants them. But very nice set. These all, for the most part, have detailing front and rear. And I know zero about the SP2 except on a few videos I've watched, just trying to stay current with learning Volkswagen and just doing some research. I would really like to spend some more time learning about this car because what I did learn and watch about it was pretty interesting. Um, you, no one's probably ever heard of one, but that'll be some more discussion for another video. But this is this VW series back from a couple of years ago, 21 or 22. Tonight we're going to open up this one, the Sirocco, which is that one top right, and then the Golf. So see what we got. I bet this car is really nice. This green just looks really good on this card art. The contrast with the lime green really makes it stand out. And green's a fan favorite of mine, color-wise. Oh yeah, undercarriage shot. Not too perfect, but it'll do. Let's get this thing going round and round and see what she's got. Okay, the green paint is really nice. It's very shiny. Um, really good Tampo decal on the side. I love that SP2 on the rear deck lid. Probably not my favorite choice of wheels for the car, but again, it has good contrast against the green. Now I'm really going to do some research on the VW SP2 because this thing just looks sleek. It has so many other different cars that come to mind when you're looking at it. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know where to start. It kind of has the Maserati feel. It kind of has, I mean, I don't know. There's a little bit of VW influence in there, a little bit of BMW, a little Ferrari. I mean, they kind of just slammed everything together into one little shell whenever the design process was going through, developing this thing. Again, it could really use tampos front and rear. That would have really sold this car and sealed the deal. But a very nice model to go with that series and that set. I'm happy. All right, got a few views of it, and we'll check out the next one. Probably another Volkswagen Caddy. We're going to change it up. We'll go ahead and get out this other Golf, kind of like the first one. We'll put this guy in here. Start working our way down the single stands. Okay, this is same model as the other one. It's a 90 model Volkswagen Golf Country. This is a 2024 variant. It's actually a mainline. The other one was an off-road rally series. So this is just a standard number 22 out of 125 for this year. Probably a little nicer than the other one, to be honest with you. At least so it's looking that way. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's pretty hard to beat. Not bad. All right. This will probably look really good on that silicone matte. It's almost the same exact color. It's almost like a Das Auto commercial. The Rough Rabbit. Number 3. Got half tampos on it. I really hate when they do that. They're going to put them on the side, do them all the way around. Paint the front headlights or do tampos. But nonetheless, not bad for a mainline. Rear spare tire, has a vinyl cover over it, which is probably pretty accurate. This car is a little bit better out of the package than I thought it'd be. That teal blue with that yellow and that those colors don't livery look really good. So again, nothing too special, but it's a VW and it's another adder. All right, let's do another bug because they're the only ones. There are 3 tall left. This is also from a friend of mine who I got this one here from. Same thing. This is number 4 out of 4. I don't think this one was a bugging out series, or the other one was. No, the other one was a tropical series. So Same year, I believe, 97. Nope, year later. Collecting number 944. This is 98. And here's the ones that are in that set. And I believe this is actually almost the same color as that custom that I had coming back to me. But again, double die cast. The finish on the zinc cadmium plating on the chassis of this one's really nice, really shiny. Let's check the roll quality. Oh man, like glass. Man, it's like a premium plastic wheels. Much better than the other one. All right, let's get her up on the spinner. See what's got. All right, got a angry bug on the side. Not sure what kind of bug that is, but really cool metal flake gel coat looking paint, bright orange interior. Not too overdone, just a nice little mix. Very, very, very happy to have this one. I love this casting in general, with it being double die cast and the shark fin and the big stinger pipe, or the buzz tail. Definitely like it better than the other one. So happy to have it. It's straight out of the blister, no playware. So very, very happy to add this to my VW collection. Okay, this is from that VW set that's, like I said, from a couple years ago. This was actually, with the exception of that T2 truck, no, I'll take that back. The Volkswagen Caddy from this set and this little 43 service pickup, the patina on this thing is really cool, and the purple paint on this thing is remarkable. The custom bug right here was pretty good too, but this is the one that initially caught my eye because I love the color scheme on it. The white and the red with a flat black hood. I mean, this is something that you would see pounding the streets, 25 years ago when we were coming up. And I don't know, there's just something about this one that I really liked. This is car number 8 out of 8 in this series. Yeah, not bad. Again, plain Jane bottom, but let's take a closer look. All right. That red's really growing on me. The white wheels are nice. I love that flat black hood. I turned the fan off in the office because it was getting a lot of reflection on the windows on the turntable. But not bad, Hot Wheels. You killed it. Again, this one really could have used some detail treatments on the front and the rear. I really don't like that they did do that on this set, because that would have really set these things off, especially with the front of this car being predominantly all black. If they would have had some detailed lenses for the headlights, some marker lights in the bumper, been really nice. Again, just more thoughts for more custom details to happen later on. Very nice blister pull. I'm happy. Okay, let's do another caddy. This is from that Surf's Upset. I believe it's a 25. It says 24 on the copyright, but Silver Series cars, they're going to have detailing front and rear. So this one should be a real treat. I love the little scroll work on the decal on the side of this truck. And it has kind of like a flat finish on the paint. So this thing is kind of hard to get a hold of, at least down here. A buddy of mine actually got this for me that, we pick up and trade cars all the time. He knew I was after this thing, so he found it on one of his travels. And of course I didn't have it, so now I do. This is not a double die-cast variant. Plastic chassis base. Rolls pretty decent. Flat on the bottom. Nothing special there. Let's check out the rest of it. Okay, this one might be the fan favorite of the night. We still got a couple other good candidates to go through, but I know this wheel is used on some other model variants, but they really, really go well with the scheme of this truck. Again, I like how on the Volkswagen Caddies they do the rag tops on these things. The detail, tampos front and rear on this thing are pretty nice. And this flat red with this rip curl looking khaki scroll, I don't know. It's really different. It's nice. Got like a Polynesian flair to it. But I like the high back buckets in these things. I think that's a nice touch. This is starting to become more of a favorite casting of mine. In the Volkswagens, I mean, I like them all, but this VW Caddy pickup's really starting to get some traction with me. So another fun fact I wrote down over here is there's been 3 million of the Volkswagen Caddies sold globally. 2.6 million of those were produced at the VW plant in Poznan, Poland. So, not to think percentages, but that's the bulk of it, right? That's probably 75-80% of these things were made in Poland. So, interesting fact. All right, we have 7 left on the docket. Let's make the next pick. All right, let's just go ahead and get him crossed off the block, because when you guys are looking for this set, hunting pegs, if you will, and just standard collecting, that one there was definitely one that was a little harder to acquire than the rest. Apparently, the Bugatti was kind of hard to get a hold of too. I think the Corvette was almost everywhere I looked. The Mustang GT, the uncool variant, was fairly common. The Pagani, I think, was probably number 3. The Bugatti was pretty hard to get a hold of, and this thing was gone. Forget it. Scalperson, you know what I'm saying? Them boys, they had them on lock. Custom Volkswagen Beetle. I'm not sure. There's been so many Transformer movies come out, but this, I believe, is from Bumblebee, but don't quote me on that. But the replicated patina on this car looked pretty cool, and just the style of this casting is a favorite of mine too. So let's do a card crack and see if this thing is as good as everybody thinks it is. I know it's real popular, and a lot of people probably have this car on the card, and they plan to not bust it out. But that's no fun in the hood we from, so we're going to do things different. And this is you know what? It is a double die cast with a polished finish. Okay. Didn't know that, but that's a nice feature. Flat bottom. Let's get some good light on it and do a 360 and check it out. Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell the weight of that car. It was double die cast, but I'm glad it is, because that makes this thing that much better. Not overdone the patina. It's a real nice touch. It's got all the rub wear in the right spots. It's not essentially a Silver Series car. It kind of replicates I know these things are like $3, so they're essentially a Silver Series in my opinion. But very nice. I'm glad this one got out of the package. This is one of the first ones I packed away when I finally got a hold of one of these. So glad to have it. Let you guys enjoy it on camera, on film. Hopefully it looks as good as it does on the big screen as it does on the small little screen I'm looking at here. But again, I was very pleased to see that this is a double diecast model. So enjoy this if you're watching this on 65 inches plus. Okay, probably gonna do the bus next. Again, this is one I got in a trade. This orange one back here. This one I wasn't really that crazy about, but I don't have a single Volkswagen bus from Matchbox that I know of. So this is number 12 of 75, and it is year 2000. And here's the cars that are in that series. Car's in really good shape. It's got a nice card. But again, I like collecting them now open. Like about half my collection was loose before, and it's slowly making its way to 100%. I was actually contemplating on the Target Red and Zamex, maybe getting put up for auction. I'll do my first one. So if you're listening and you're a follower on all the Facebook groups I'm on, just know that may be upcoming. And I've got quite a few of both, just so I can help grow more diecast for the channel without spending money out of pocket, and pass those along to others who may want them more than me. It's pretty neat. Let's get a better look at it. Plastic base. Got the old rattle can looking chrome, if you will. But it is a 15 window, whatever they call those things. So, stand by. All right. The Matchbox version isn't really that bad. It'd probably be really, really nice if they would just select it for a better looking wheel. The interior is pretty detailed. They do even have like rib seats, rag top. It's got something going on with the paint finish on the back, but it's an overall fairly heavy casting for its size and being a plastic base. And it's kind of a one off in my collection. Like I said, I don't have a single Matchbox, 15 window bus, if you will. So really cool color scheme. Something different than what I normally see. It's got a little blend of every color on there. Orange interior, on teal and white and blue, red. VW, you can get away with anything. So there you have it. One of two Matchbox VWs that I have, we broke out tonight, and the only bus that I think I have from Matchbox. Okay, let's do a custom bug. This thing is pretty neat. This is from Heat Fleet series. I want to say this is like, let's see, maybe 2010. Oh, not too far off. This was a really early purchase. I can't remember who I got this from, but car 121 out of 190. Number 5 out of 10 of this set. And this will not be a display car because it doesn't have all the full features, but it would be a very close contender if it was like that Real Riders one that I showed you on my display. But makes some good, pretty good pocket rider one day. Take to work. This is a double die cast variant, like the Bumblebee Bug. Oh yeah, look at there. Beautiful. Little fuel cell in the back seat. Plenty of motor in the back. That's all you need to know, man. All right, I love it. Purple, flames, double die cast. Decent wheel choice. Not too much, not too flashy. White interior looks good. They even have a little bitty hoop roll bar in there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this casting is really nice. I knew that the one that I had that's a Real Riders version of this, I can't remember what year it's from. Of course, it's double die cast because it's, basically an early premium. But it's good to know that this casting is a double die cast variant, like this one in the Bumblebee yellow car we just opened a second ago. So, gotta love purple, man. It just, it fits, kind of like a worn in holster. Just purple on a VW Bug is just cold classic, textbook. All right, cool combi it is. Let's see if this one's a little bit better than the last one. There was some pretty serious paint errors on that gray variant. Sorry. Hopefully this one won't be the same. This is a 2020, what was it? Yeah, 21. Again, I got the gray one, and this one together at a pretty reasonable price on one of the auctions on Facebook. Oh yeah, this looks definitely better already. Rolls really nice. Let's check it out up here. All right, for sure better than the gray one. I'm pretty half tempted to give that gray one to a buddy of mine who does customs, and just let him kind of do his thing, because this one is really nice and it will definitely stay. But I will set that gray one aside for him to basically turn it into a custom. He does some really nice, cool combis. I got a Christmas ho 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 edition from him, and the other one's purple with a bunch of kind of. It's in my garage. I think I showed it to you on one of those videos. It's got the like green, yellow polka dot striping all over it. But this one's really nice. It'll stay in my collection, but that gray one will go to him. So again, I really wish that this thing had some detailing on the front for sure. You know, headlight lenses and the VW badge. Very iconic of the bus, but not bad. All right, we're getting down to the wood here. Let's do the Sirocco. This is part of that VW set. The VW Sirocco GT24. Very impressive car. This thing will compete with the best of them in its class. This is car number 3 out of 8 of that set. Again, a really nice set. I remember when I first started acquiring the cars for this thing, it kind of took me a couple different post purchases to buy it. Plain Jane bottom. That's all right. Not too detailed in the back. Front looks pretty good. Got the Castor Oil sponsorship on there. Bill Stein. Number 124. The wing on this thing just it really sets it apart. Like you would never dream to see a wing like that on the hatchback, especially a VW. But very nice. This car definitely really should have some treatment on the rear. But they do have the race cage, fairly fitting to this thing. Wheel choice is probably okay for a mainline variant, if you will. They could have put something worse on there. So we'll leave it alone. We'll let it have its time, and you'll get a couple more shots of it, and we'll look at the last two. Okay, the K truck, like I said, this one and the other orange one right here, they came in the mail today, so it was good to get these. I will showroom, truck 3 out of 10, car 3 out of 10, if you will. 113 out of 250 for that year, and this is a 2015, so different. This one was from 2012, I believe. This one's fairly newer. Paint's probably really nice in this truck, if you even want to classify it as a truck. It's got a bed on it, but pretty sure these things aren't body on frame. Oh, sweet. Flat bottom, just like the rest of them. No detail. Very nice paint color. I don't like the clear rag top. This one has. Kind of missed a buck on that. No detail. Tail lights on the rear, but it does have the front. And that paint just looks really sharp. But again, the glass insert and the rag top could have been done a little bit better. But overall, pretty nice. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I don't have but 4 or 5 of these in this casting, so I'll take all the variants I can get. It's still a nice truck. Okay, last but not least, this is one of those 98 to 2000 era cars that I have. 98. Surf and Fun Series number 2 out of 4. This thing's got a really cool livery on it. And I have a few others like this and this actual casting because it's different than some of the other ones we showed you tonight. Again, double die-cast variant. I've got probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 from this era that are, if they're not blister pools, they're pretty close to perfect condition. Oh, had a little collision. Yeah. Rolls just as good as the other blue one. This white one here kind of skips a few steps, but that's all right. All Lost Del Sol is what's on the side of this one. It's a different blue. It definitely looks a lot different out of the package. I don't think I have any color, any vehicle this color, so it's a nice treat. No paint errors, no chips, no dings, no nothing. Very nice. That will conclude the VW busing for tonight. This one definitely ran about as long as I thought it would. Maybe even a little shorter. I tried to kind of keep the comments to a minimum. But like I said, we'll do part 2, part 3. If it turns into part 4, that's fine. Whatever it takes. Putting something out for all the VW fans because I know that there's plenty out there that enjoy Volkswagen in general, and especially in diecast if they're not real life VW car guys and gals. But I like them in the diecast because every manufacturer from the diecast companies puts their own little twist and flair and flavor and these things that make them really fun. There's just, like I said, VW, the Bug, the Thing, you name it, all the models. They've always been such a blank canvas, and anyone can own one. Anyone can fit in one. Anyone can own one. Anyone can drive one. They're affordable. They're easy to work on. There's a lot of appeal about the Volkswagen in general. They can be a little tedious and they can be a little cumbersome, but the love that is shown to these things around the world is just second to none. And I've grown to be really fond of them. And eventually I hope to try to acquire one and build one, do something simple or something extreme. Only time will tell. But that's it from DDC tonight. Work on getting all these wrapped up and getting them put away. And I will work on part 2 tomorrow. I may not film it tomorrow, but if I don't, we'll get to it Thursday and we'll keep going. Thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. Everyone have a good night.